And we are back, and as promised, we have another guest. We have Gabriella Kaplan-Mayer, who's an experienced educator, author, and speaker. And at the Jewish Learning Venture, she works as director of the Whole Community Inclusion Program and leads disability awareness programs for the Philadelphia Jewish community. Welcome to the show, Gabrielle.
Thank you. It's so great to be here with you both.
And should we call you Gabby or should we call you Gabrielle? Which would you prefer?
You know, everyone calls me Gabby, so that's great.
Okay. And we were talking before we started that I remember you. Neither one of us can remember. I think you've been on both this show and the radio show that I used to do, Everyday Autism Miracles, that we had you on talking about you had a children's cookbook that was absolutely amazing. Well, that I still remember because it was so cool, and you talked about the sensory experience of it. So everybody can go and check that out too. But as we were saying during the break, Gabby has been busy. There's no moss growing under Gabby's feet. Gabby's been doing a lot of different things. And one of the things that you have done is a new journal that's called Reflection, Expression, and Courage. Talk to us a little bit about what that is and why each and every one of us should have one.
Sure. So I have my copy right here, by the way. You can find it on Amazon. And I wrote it because I felt that parents need a place to have just honest expression, to be able to write what's on your heart, what's on your mind. We are all so busy. I know we don't all have time for therapy. We don't all have time for long phone calls or coffee dates with our friends. But I found for myself when I have 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, maybe 15 minutes to exhale a little bit, notice what I'm feeling, and reflect on my journey as a mom parenting a son who's almost 16, who has autism and an intellectual disability. It's extremely healing for me to be able to reflect on both my challenges and my blessings. It's easy for me to write. I write all the time, but I know for a lot of parents it might be hard to know where to start. So I created a journal that has different prompts that will guide you into thinking about, as I said, the blessings, the support that you have, as well as just, the honest feelings of struggle that we all go through.
I just think this is so important.
Yeah, it is important because a lot of us don't take the time to process our thoughts.
And years ago, I'm sure there were a lot of us in Los Angeles, well, around the world. There was a book called The Artist's Way. Did you ever? And there was a thing where every morning you had to sit and write 3 pages,
Daily
and you called them your morning pages, and you would write. And it was such a mentally healthy thing, and so much would come out of it. That dreams that you had, things that you wanted to do would come out of it, and I, for one, as an autism mom, have gotten really far away from that. Right, so what a wonderful gift to the autism community you have created, Gabby.
Thank you so much. Yes, I really relate to that, and I have a morning routine where I try to get up and also begin my day. I aim for like 10 to 15 minutes of writing. And if I aim for doing that as a daily practice, it happens 2 or 3 times a week maybe. But I also just keep the journal in my purse because sometimes it's that like sitting in the carpool line at school pickup or waiting before a doctor's appointment. You never know when you might have time. But it just feels so healthy to be able to share what's on your heart, to put it into words. And the other thing is that I think that sometimes people prescribe to us what our story is. Others might think our lives are sad or only challenging. And I might want to write about the joy in my parenting experience and just having the permission for you to be in the seat as the writer, the one telling your own story.
Now, you have another book that, while it doesn't have a direct connection to autism, you said that there are some things that came out of that are somewhat connected. Can you tell us about The Little Gatecrasher?
I can. I've got that right here, too. So The Little Gatecrasher came out in 2016, and I've been doing a lot of book talks about it. It's a memoir of my great uncle, Mace Bugen, who was born in 1915, and he had dwarfism. He was 43 inches tall. I remember him as an incredible, friendly, outgoing, really fun uncle. And we wanted to capture his life story because it was so extraordinary. He did many amazing things, including becoming a self-made millionaire in the real estate business, having grown up in
Unbelievable.
the Great Depression, And he, all his life, there was so much stigma and prejudice in society against people with any kind of difference when he was a young person and an adult. And I think he easily could have retreated, he could have hid, and instead he really put himself out there, even though he faced being stared at, he faced taunts. Um, and to me, this was an important message to make everyone in society mindful of just understanding that as human beings, there are all kinds of varieties and differences that we have. I have had many times, and I'm sure you both have, and every autism parent has had times when you've been out in public with your child, maybe a meltdown's going on, maybe it's just, for me now, my son is almost 16, he's 5'11", but I'm holding his hand. If we're crossing the street or we're in the grocery store, he needs my guidance. And it's amazing how people feel free to stare at you as if you're odd or they don't understand you or your life. And, it doesn't take a lot to stop staring and to simply smile at someone. And so I think my uncle was a champion of just being who he was, despite the fact that the outside world could be very cruel to him.
Right. So he was an inspiration for you. And you said that your great grandmother was a role model for being an advocate for her son.
She was born at a time when so many families were told to simply put a child away if they had any kind of disability. She not only didn't allow that to happen, she raised her son with unconditional love. And I think that was what fueled him to go to school, to succeed, and to live a meaningful life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, where can we get both of these books? The journaling book, Reflection, Expression, and Courage, and The Little Gatecrasher.
So you can find them both on autism. You can also go, I have a website, GabrielleKaplan-Mayer.com, and I have links to all the books there. So please check them out.
Okay.
Thank you so much for all the work that you do. You are such an advocate. You speak, you write, you've got these books out there. And if people want to book you to come and speak, where should they get a hold of you, Gabby?
They can also go to GabrielleKaplan-Mayer.com. You can check out The Little Gatecrasher, has a Facebook page. You can find me on Twitter, but really the website, GabrielleKaplan-Mayer.com, has my email and contact info, and I love to come out and speak for community.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you so much for
your
everything
work.
that you do and for
My
joining
Good to
us.
have you
today.
on the show.
For having me.
All right, you take care. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye.
I think we're close to out of time.
We are very close to out of time,
gonna
and
talk
we've got
about
a
tomorrow's show?
ginormous show tomorrow. And so forgive me if I forget something that's going to be on. But one of the things that I love that we're going to have on from our toy guide, there's a company called Brickful Things that they make custom necklaces out of different toy pieces,
Right.
including out of bricks made by companies that we know the name of. I don't know that I'm
Okay.
allowed to say,
Okay.
but they're like so clever. And if you have a kid or an adult, I've got a brother-in-law who just he's in his 30s. I think he just turned 40, and he loves all things bricks, right?
Okay.
And so you can get cufflinks made, you can get necklaces made. So we're going to have him be on the show. We've got Bonnie Yates, of course, answering questions. We have a wonderful gentleman who's going to be on with us talking about another venture that where they've taken a business and they've employed people on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
So we're thrilled to talk about that. But then the big thing on the show tomorrow that I really want to put forward, Dina Kimmel. We love Dina
Yes.
Kimmel from We Rock the Spectrum. There's a couple that have owned the Glendale We Rock the Spectrum gym for a long time. Deborah Portney and Michael. and I can't think of what Michael's last name is, but they're amazing autism parents. Such an amazing story that they have for themselves, and they created this We Rock the Spectrum in Glendale. I've been to the location. It's a beautiful, beautiful gym, and its particular focus is teenagers. They have
Okay,
things
great.
very specifically for teenagers. It's so
Yeah, because some of the
awesomely
We
cool.
Rock the Spectrums have them for younger kids.
Yes, but this one is specifically for teenagers. They have equipment that is meant for teenagers to work out on, and they
Great.
have like a surfboard table where they can have parties. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And the landlord, out of nowhere, has just decided to double their rent. And I'm double their rent. Now, this incenses me. And they have gone to the landlord and said, hey, you know, we understand an increase, but double.
Doubling is
And
ridiculous.
they said, you know, and they were logical and said, hey, you know, I mean, we can't really afford that, and you've
Right.
given us almost no time, and you know, can we negotiate it all? And his response was, no, I would rather have it sit empty for a year and get that rent than to negotiate with you.
So is there anything to be done about
Well,
this?
I think there is something to be done about it, and so they're going to be on the show tomorrow, and they're going to talk about some of the things that they've got in place and ways that we can help them, and ways that we can use our voice to say this isn't right.
Right.
You know, there are just times when we all need to stick together on certain things, and this is one of those times where I feel very clear that they're pushing these folks around because, you know, they think they can.
Yeah.
And we can push back as a
Okay.
group of people. So they're all going to be on the show. Dina's going to be here. Michael's going to be here. And we're going to talk about what's happening and what we can do about it. And I'm incensed that this is happening, but I'm thrilled that we're going to be able to move this dial and make something else happen.
Okay, good.
Because this cannot happen. All right,
Good.
we're totally
Okay,
out of time. But so glad to be here with
So
you, my
glad to be
friend.
here with you,
And
too.
we'll see you again in 2019.
In 2019.
Can you believe
No.
that?
Amazing.
That is cray-cray.
I know.
But thrilled to have had another year under our belt
Yes.
together, my
Yes.
friend. I appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me.
And yourselves a hug from me.
Bye-bye for now.